What's up, party people? Today I want to talk about a game that is very near and dear to my heart. This game is, in my opinion, a game that could have been one of the greatest MMORPGs of all time. But instead, due to greed and laziness, it's hardly even known across the gaming community. What is this game? Well, this game is called Dekaron, or as some of the OG players might know it as, Two Moons. Dekaron, or Two Moons, was initially developed by David Perry in 2008 and published by Acclaim Games. Initially, the game was a wild success given how unique and groundbreaking it was at the time. The game offered stunning visual effects for skills and an intricate combat system to go along with it. In addition to this, Dekaron had an open-world PvP system. This allowed players to fight and kill each other on many of the maps that they would be farming on. This led to an incredibly involved player base, as players would team up to fight over maps and territory for nothing more than bragging rights. There were no actual rewards for killing players. In fact, players would have negative actions taken against them for doing so, such as going to prison. But this did not stop players from trying to become the strongest Dekaron. Players made serious friends and enemies in this game. I can remember a time when my good friend and I angered another player by killing him outside of Parka Temple. For the next month, we were unable to freely roam that map because he KOS'd us in his guild. This means that if any of his guild members saw us, they were supposed to kill us on sight. We would literally go anywhere in that map and just get murdered by a bunch of players from the opposing guild. I don't remember the names anymore, but I definitely remember this being a huge issue. And it wasn't until we joined a guild of our own that we were actually able to start freely roaming that map with some protection. We had to kind of like walk around with a squad. DK Square in Dekaron was kind of the culmination of all this PvP. It was a battlefield where players would get separated into two separate teams. The objective would be to destroy stones possessed by the opposing team in order to gain enough points to talk at the main altar. This talking process is where the player would need to stay alive for a specific period of time without being killed. And they would be unable to defend themselves during this process. The stone would kind of give them a buff, and then their teammates would need to keep them alive. The winner of this would receive some points to spend, as well as, obviously, bragging rights. I mean, this game was all about bragging rights. It's basically all people ever talked about was who they killed and what guild they took out, etc. Even though the primary focus of the game was around PvP, many players also enjoyed the PvE aspect of the game as well, primarily because of the stunning visual effects and awesome-looking skills. Even today, I cannot think of another MMORPG that comes anywhere near Dekaron in terms of how awesome and fulfilling the skills look. So what happened? Why is it that today no one has heard of this amazing MMORPG, or that, not many people know about it? Well, there's many reasons that we could talk about, but the one that I'm going to focus on is greed. The game has bounced around between developers and publishers over the years. In fact, it's amazing that the game is still around. Currently, it is developed by a company called VFun, or sorry, not VFun, UbiFun, and published by Velof. Dekaron's biggest flaw, in my opinion, is how pay-to-win the game is. From the start, the game was pay-to-win, needing to purchase items with real money in order to effectively improve your gear and weapons. However, back in the old days of Two Moons, if you were a non-paying player, you were still able to grind and have a chance against players who spent money. Nowadays, the chance has been completely deleted. Maybe not completely deleted, but significantly deleted. The gap between paying and non-playing players is astronomical. This prevents any new players from taking the game seriously. I mean, how many people want to start a new game and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, if you want to be competitive whatsoever, you need to throw in thousands of dollars. I mean, who's going to do that? And this prevents, like I said, any new players from taking the game seriously. Unfortunately, UbiFun seems to love this business model. They have no interest in growing or improving the game for others. They just release content that is made entirely to entice the whales that keep this game alive. And I can guarantee you that this game funding is primarily from players who are whaling. Nothing in this game is more rewarding than spending money. Farming dungeons? Nope. PvPing? Nope. Exploring? Nope. The only real progress you make is by opening up your wallet to one of UbiFun's many random boxes they offer in the game. You can't even buy items you want directly. You have to spend thousands trying your luck in the gambling shop. The shop. This is how Dekaron looks today. You want to enhance your weapon? Spend money. You want to enhance your armor? Spend money. You want a costume? Spend money. You want a decent pet? Spend money. You want basically anything that is significantly going to progress your character? Spend money. I could go on. And this isn't to say that you cannot farm things without spending money, but it's significantly harder and takes significantly more time and involves you basically just running like 10 clients on battle support. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. Is the game now, like, AFKing is more rewarding than playing the actual game, but I don't need to go into that. I could go on and on. Can you believe this company actually had a competition one time to see who could spend the most money in a small period of time? I remember being ashamed that I even played the game. Don't get me wrong. Every company needs to make money to survive, but UbiFun does it at the expense of its players and the game itself. There are much better business models out there that don't involve milking your players with random boxes. Dekaron is being held prisoner by the greediest developers I have ever experienced in my entire life. They even released a mobile game recently that is less pay to win than the PC game. Not saying it's not pay to win, but I can tell you from playing it, it's less pay to win than the actual PC game. I cannot believe that a mobile version of this game is even less pay to win. I mean, mobile games are notoriously pay to win. This just blows my mind. I've played Dekaron for a very long time, and it has a very special place in my heart. And I hope and pray for the day that this intellectual property or this game one day gets picked up by a developer that actually wants to see it grow and thrive. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll actually get that Dekaron 2 they talked about such a long time ago. Anyway, thank you for your time. Peace.